It had been a rough week for Javier Baez of the New York Mets, and this play, with the game tied, could change it all. Wait, you didn't really think I was going to spoil it that fast, did you? Let's talk about the New York Mets and Javy Baez, who this week, after hitting a home run, does the thumbs down symbol. And I'm not talking about the Yankees 2017 thumbs down in celebration, which was a response, by the way, to a Met fan who did that to the Yankees. This was his way, essentially, of saying F you to the fans.
To let them know that when we don't get success, we're going to get booed. So they're going to get booed when we success.
Basically, he said, I created this to give it back to the fans when I succeed. This is Javy Baez, who's played like 20 games with the New York Mets. I don't understand that kind of logic. Doesn't really make sense to me all that much, but that's what he said. So Fransico Lindor, at least we know, there's probably other players who have done it, but we have photo evidence of Francisco Lindor and Kevin Pillar doing the same thing too. Luis Rojas stood up there basically saying that he had no idea that this is what his guys were doing, or that's what it meant.
No, I didn't know that. That's what he meant. I mean, they've been doing all sorts of salutes from the dugout to on the bases. So I didn't know there was any intention of giving anything back to the fans.
You had Steve Cohen talk to Joel Sherman, who wrote a piece on this on the New York Post, saying that Javy Baez hit the third rail with New York Mets fans, and basically that he hopes he uses this as a learning experiment.
It didn't need to be like this. He could have easily just said, "Oh, it's just something I'm doing." But when asked about it, he stated specifically, like, no, this is for the fans. For when we're succeeding, you guys are going to get this thumbs down. By the way, what I really wish it was my middle finger to all you guys. Here's Javy Baez's numbers in the last 162 games.
Oh, my God.
223 strikeouts, 24 walks. But how does a player like Javy Baez have put together this type of output and not expect to get booed? And this reminds me of, we almost had this exact same conversation. And I think it was about Javy Baez. Like, how do you expect to put these numbers and not get booed? In New York, of all places. He really is tone deaf in this whole situation, because they brought you over here and the team has been a dumpster fire ever since. Before that, they are spiraling out of contention. And it's almost like he added kerosene to the fire.
Yeah.
Which he didn't have, and the point is, he didn't have to do this.
After pouring kerosene all over the Mets season, at least that's what it seems like, Javy Baez now is standing on first base. He's the game-winning run in a game against the Marlins, which, by the way, is a makeup game from a rainout back in April. And you have Michael Conforto up at the plate, who's struggling mightily at the season. Mets fans are booing Javy Baez because of his comments. They're giving him thumbs down. All of this is going down. And suddenly, the unthinkable happens. Michael Conforto slaps a single into left field. The left fielder bobbles the ball. Javy Baez decides he's going to go through third base, run home, and slide. And what happens?
He scores, and the Mets win it!
Game over. The Mets win the game. Javy Baez is the hero. And you can't make this stuff up, man. And it's why we watch sports, and it's why we love sports. It's because stuff like this happens. And I don't think that this forgives him for everything that he said and for his actions on the field, the thumbs down. I think that there will be some fans that are still upset, especially if he continues to play the way he has been playing, striking out so much, horrible plate discipline. But if he turns things around, this could be the starting point of a new beginning for Javy Baez. He could rewrite his own story right here, right now. We'll see what happens, though.